What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Brian. Today we're going to go over the Michigan-Nebraska game that Michigan did manage to win this past weekend. And we'll go over some of the other news in college football because it was a different week in college football. So we're just going to go have a look at that real quick and then we'll kind of see where it goes. But yeah, so got the stats pulled up here. Michigan, looking at the passing stats especially, I was not impressed. 105 passing yards is not going to do it against bigger teams. It's just not. And so that was kind of disappointment. On the other side of that, however, Michigan's rushing yards, like 286 rushing yards. That's insane. I thought Michigan's passing game this year would be significantly better than last year. And in a way, it is. But at the same time, Michigan's rushing yards somehow seem to be doing just a whole different level. So I'm truly impressed with how they're playing, and I'm happy. Bryce Underwood didn't have any major mistakes. So, and he had a bunch of rushing yards this game like he did last one. So, Michigan's playing well. They're winning the game. So, to be fair, I was really surprised. I thought these stats would be opposite way around, but Justice Haynes is absolutely crushing it. So that's awesome. It's really cool. So and the score, I believe I had said it'd be like 31-20. It's kind of the general thing I believe I said in the last video. This game was a lot closer than it realistically had to be. I think Michigan gave up a late touchdown, but hey, a win's a win. So 30-27 is still, still a win. Receiving, the ball got spread out fairly evenly. It's ironic that if you can see here, the longest for four of the top players was 16 yards. So we do need to push the ball downfield, especially if we're going to beat teams like Ohio State, Penn State. We need to push that ball downfield farther. 16 yards essentially is a little bit more than a slant route. It's like the top of the slant route. That ball needs to go farther downfield. We need to prove against teams like this that we can put that ball farther down the field. Otherwise, it's going to be tough going. And if a team manages to show up hard against the run, and Ohio State and Penn State have that capability, um, it's gonna be tough. So hopefully the next upcoming weeks, these yards 39, 22, 21, 12, 6, 5, hopefully those we can get some to put a 5 or a 7 in front of some of those, so we can show that hey we can get downfield. These longs need to go up a lot. So a win is a win. So take it for what you can get. But I really think that Michigan really needs to step it up in the passing game. However, as the last literally every single week has shown, even in the loss to Oklahoma, Michigan had a player over 100 yards. Justice Haynes is just going insane. So happy for that. I'm glad we won, but the passing game needs some work. Um, so that's yeah. Uh, to be fair, Nebraska, Dylan Raiola played fine. 308 yards is excellent. So no shade on Nebraska by any means. He played fairly well, despite his O line get absolutely run over. Michigan's defense had 7 sacks. What happened? Nebraska's O line looked bad, and he still played well. So he is impressive to say the least. But Michigan's defense, excellent. Like I said, 7 sacks. Let's see what else we got here. Defensive wise, yeah. Oh, let me see. Defensive. Oh, here we go. Yeah, they had an interception. Cole Sullivan, surprise, came out of nowhere and he had a pick, and he had a really good tackle for loss, I believe. That was really an impact play. So more of that. Oh, all day long. Yeah, but man, sacks. Hausman had one. Rolder had one. Barham had one. Moore and Benny both had 1.5 apiece, and Cameron Brandt had half one, and Etta, I believe his name is. He had a half sack. So I'm not sure how they calculate the halves and all that. I know it's stat obviously. Not sure how they do it, but hey, they got to the quarterback and 7 sacks is still 7 sacks, no matter how you do the math. So yeah, they did really good. Really happy with Michigan, and they won. So, but so ups and downs, but you take the win at the end of the day. So, um, and the rest. So this past weekend was kind of strange for college football in a way. There were some really interesting games. Uh, Fresno State beat Hawaii, which Hawaii did all right. But some of the ones I want to point out here, Memphis beat Arkansas like kind of out of nowhere. Memphis is one of those teams that will occasionally upset a bigger opponent. I didn't see them beating Arkansas though, so hey, that's awesome, good for them. But the real upset of the day, I think that most people would agree on, was Syracuse beating Clemson. They didn't just beat them. That score probably should have been more lopsided, 34-21. Yeah, Dabo Sweeney is Yeah, that's not a good look. So 1-3 for the first time, I believe, in his tenure there. Uh, yeah, he could be in trouble. So that's something to keep an eye out, watching. If he maybe on a hot seat, or maybe he turns the season around and he doesn't lose another game. So we'll see there. North Texas beat Army, but look at the now Army runs a triple option. I don't see Army putting up 38 points normally, and they still lost to North Texas, who is 4-0. Pleasant surprise. Maryland beat Wisconsin pretty convincingly, 27-10. So, yeah, that was impressive. Uh, South Florida, obviously they did lose to Miami last week, but they are 3-1. Impressive. They beat Boise State to start the season, which I don't think anybody saw coming. So hey, and they put 63 points against South Carolina State, which it's a lot. That's a pretty good point. Pretty good showing. TCU beat SMU. SMU was a playoff team last year and just has absolutely just crapped the bed this year. Don't know what's going on there, but yeah, they did lose in the first round last year to playoff, which I believe most of us kind of saw coming. But I respect to them for at least being there. Texas Tech beat Utah 34-10. Texas Tech is looking scary. I know nobody on Texas Tech, and these guys are they're playing the team sport. So, hey, that's awesome for them. That's awesome. Yeah, mostly Central Michigan beat Wagner, of course. Oregon beat Oregon State. That used to be a rivalry game for. I mean, I know it is a rivalry game, but they used to be games that were closer. But as of late, Oregon State just fell off. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Oklahoma beat Auburn, and I feel like that's a really good look for Michigan because obviously Oklahoma beat Michigan at Oklahoma. So the more wins Oklahoma gets, especially against high profile teams or relatively high profile teams like Auburn, that's all like that just brings up Michigan's loss against them. It counts more towards a quality loss. So that's good. There's some other ones, other games, obviously. Obviously, Michigan, Florida State just destroyed Kent State, but that's like saying you beat a high school team at this point. So uh, interesting. So Notre Dame beat Purdue. I mean, everybody saw it coming. I personally was kind of surprised at how many points Purdue put up against Notre Dame. 30 points is nothing to sniff at. So I, I don't know if maybe I didn't watch the game, so maybe it was against third stringers, but I was kind of like, that's interesting. But still, obviously, they blew them out of the water nonetheless. So that Ole Miss laid it on Tulane, 45-10. Um, yeah. So UCF beat the brakes off of North Carolina. Bill Belichick is not an NFL quarterback, or sorry, not NFL, not a college coach, in my opinion. Just my opinion, for what it's worth. But he cannot get these guys going. They're 2-2, and when you score 9 points in a game, like that's tough, man. Like yeah, I don't know what's going on there, but I don't think he's gonna be there more than a year. Just realistically, between him and Dabble Sweeney, like I would say Belichick's gone first, if I have to be honest, because Sweeney's had some success at Clemson, so he'll probably be there longer. Yeah, some other games. Man, Georgia Tech is on a roll. They they dominated Temple, and Temple has proven tough for some teams in the past, but 45-24, that was a solid win. So let me see. Kansas, West Virginia, Kansas. Hey, they're showing up. 41-10 over West Virginia. That's Kansas was the bottom there for a long time. They're playing way above their station. Boise State dropped 49 points on Air Force, so that's yeah, they needed that win because they were having a tough start to their season. So let me see here. Missouri beating South Carolina. If I remember, I think somebody said Sellers had hurt at some point in time, but still, that's a quality win for Missouri. And South Carolina is not, they're 2-2. They're not gonna be ranked. That's just reality. Um, Arizona State beat Baylor 27-24. I believe it was trying to remember. I believe Arizona State has, yeah, Sam Levitt. Yeah, passer right here. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, he's legit. Oh yeah, he's a good quarterback. Miami of Florida beat Florida. Good. Yes, Florida can like that school's a mess. They're looking a mess. Vanderbilt is 4-0. Never in a million years could I would have thought that they'd be 4-0 at this point in the season. Hey, respect to them, and Dago Pavi, I think his name is, showing out. That's a big deal. The I would say one of the biggest surprises was the Indiana Illinois game, 63-10. At one point in time, they were ranked within like a couple of each other. Illinois will be lucky to be at getting just absolutely boat race out of your own stadium like that. Oh no, sorry, they played at Indiana, but nonetheless, getting boat raced out of any stadium like that is going to get you out of the top. I'll be, I'd be surprised if Illinois is even into twenties at this rate. That was just utter destruction. So that was crazy. I almost didn't believe the score when I first saw it. I know that also. I believe it would be later. Colorado won their game against Wyoming. I kind of saw that. Yeah, and then Michigan State lost to USC. Now that game did it wasn't as close as the score says. The score is obviously lopsided. Michigan State is having problems defensively. If your offense can put up 31 points, you have the capability to offensively do stuff. You cannot continuously give up 45 points and expect to win. You just can't. You're just not like the first good team you play, quote unquote, and you get steamrolled. If you're going into Big Ten playing like that, you're yeah, that's not good. Um, Side note: Tulsa, Oklahoma State lost to Tulsa at Oklahoma. Recently, I just heard that they fired Mike. What was it, Gundy? Yeah, sorry, Coach Gundy. He's been there for like 12 years, something crazy. They fired him. I believe that that's unfortunately that's kind of the when you start to lose that much, it's yeah, you're done. So Mike Gundy's out. Um, I almost thought it was Mike Leach, but no, it was not him. So yeah, unfortunately, they fired him after the loss to Oklahoma or to Tulsa at home. Yeah, Oklahoma State's not looking so hot. I, yeah, they're 1-2. Yeah, and of course Iowa State beat Rutgers. So, um, but yeah, everybody beats up on the redhead stepchild of the Big Ten. So, but yeah, um, that's all for the football news right now. Detroit did beat the Ravens on Monday. Monday night. I was happy about that. I did see part of that game. Like I said, I don't really follow them, but I am a fan. I don't follow the NFL as a whole, but I am a Detroit fan. Seeing them do well is really nice. Kind of plays up. So yeah. So like I said, happy that Michigan won. There's really it was an interesting week of college football to say the least. So thanks for uh, thanks for watching, and I hope to have some good. Actually, Michigan's bye week is next week, so they will not be playing. So I will probably do an overview of some of the major games coming up this upcoming weekend, and then maybe even do something strictly for Detroit. So we'll see. Uh, I'll have to see what the schedule is, but yeah. Thanks for watching, and I hope everybody's having a great day. And take care of yourself. Peace.